Hey, what's up everyone? Josh here and welcome to another video. Got a good one for you today because we are going to be taking a look at Blue Cat's Axiom, available from Blue Cat Audio. So for my guitarists and bass players, with Blue Cat's Axiom, you can have your cake and eat it too, and I'll show you what I mean by that. To call Blue Cat's Axiom just an amp sim is a little uncouth because there is so much on offer within Axiom and so many unique things that this becomes really the ultimate guitar workstation, and I'll show you how I build that. Now we're going to break this video down into two separate sections. The first part will be a basic overview of the program and some of the key features, and then the second part of the video I'll show you how I build my ultimate guitar workstation using Blue Cat's Axiom. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and let's dive right into the video. All right, everyone, welcome to the first part of the video here. We're just going to do a very basic overview of the plugin and talk about some of the key features that make Axiom unique and help get you started on your tone journey here. So I've got their default rig loaded up here. Let's see how it sounds right off the bat. A very nice little introduction to Blue Cat's Axiom from them. It doesn't blow you through the roof or anything right out of the gate. It's a nice effects platform. We could do a lot with this, and that is really cool. But before we get too deep into the universe of sound available to us, let's talk about some of the key features here that make Axiom unique. Namely, the things they've included that you're just not going to find included anywhere else. Starting with the Re-Guitar plugin. Now, we did a full demo of this in another video on the channel a couple months ago or a month ago, something like that. I don't know when I did it, but it's up there, I promise. You can go find it. You can change the pickup configuration of your guitar with the click of one button, basically. You know, if you want to get down on that country fried stuff, or you can change it to anything else in here. Next, we have Late Replies, which is Blue Cat's incredible, and I mean ultra powerful dream machine of a reverb and delay module that can do incredible stuff. I think it's actually smarter than me, which isn't a high bar, but you'll see what I mean. Check this out. Super awesome. I like that setting because it responds to my picking dynamics. It knows when I'm playing harder, and so it puts a little more out there. It's incredible stuff. I mean, look at the presets, guys, on this, and this is just in Late Replies, okay? There are only 47,416 presets. I think they're working on some more for you. Man, it's absolutely crazy what they include here. Blue Cat always brings tons of starting points to the table for you to check out and customize. Let's just pick a random one here and see what we've got going on. Whoa, okay, that turned it into this big space station looking thing, and I mean, all these different, I don't know, let's just dive into it, man. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, the preset there is called Forever Mid, and yeah, I guess it kind of is forever. That's the preset. You could go to lunch, have a sandwich, come back, it's still going, and you say, all right, let's keep doing our thing. I bet you if I turn it on, it's still going. Okay, so they mean forever. But that's just a tiny example of what Late Replies can do. It's absolutely crazy. Next is their Destructor module. So this is their preamp, their distortion and post filter, or like cabinet section engine that kind of runs the amp section in Axiom. So you can choose a preset from up here that kind of dials all of the modules in for you. And again, 50 million presets to choose from. Blue Cat, I love this because I'm always looking for a good starting point, right? You can choose what head you want here. You know, like if you're looking for a certain amp head, like whatever, they got tons to choose from here that you can try out. And then there's presets upon presets all over the place to get you started with what kind of distortion you want, etc. It's really cool. If you click these little E-looking buttons here, now you'll see that it turns it into a whole nother ball game, right? And this is one of those things I tell people. I mean, before, look at this. You could literally build your distortion profile, and every bit of stuff that could be modulated or affected within a distortion profile, Blue Cat says, here, have at it, go for it. I don't use this very much, but it is so cool to have. And one of the things about Blue Cat plugins that I said in the re-guitar video is that the plugins Blue Cat's come out with they're as easy or as complex as you want them to be. If you're somebody who loves to tweak with stuff, this is a paradise for you. If you're somebody who doesn't, well, then you don't have to. And that's what makes Blue Cat Audio's plugins so user-friendly. Now, one of the things I like to say too is I like to keep these Blue Cat plugins up when people come and visit my little studio here because they just look so cool and people are like, whoa, he must be doing some crazy stuff, even though I'm really not. So those are the 3 things included that you're just not going to find included anywhere else. They are available as standalone plugins from the website, but why wouldn't you get the whole deal and get full access to it here in Axiom? That is really cool. Let's talk a little bit about the user interface, and the easiest way to break that down is to go through the signal chain. So on the left, we have our input control here, and think of this like your input bus on your DAW. You can load from Blue Cat's vast array of tools, utilities, effects, boosts, whatever you want on the front end. If you have a favorite tuner you like that's not this one, hey, you can put it in there, why not? Then over here you have the mix bar, so you could create 2 separate tones and blend them together, pan them how you want, more on that later. And then you have the pre-effects section here, which is basically your stomp section, everything before the amplifier. So you can load anything you want into it and have it there available to you. Next you have the amp section, which is the Destructor thing we just talked about. And then you have your pulsed effects here, and this is where you put your reverbs, delays, all that fun stuff. If you want, instead of having to go through and pick what you want, you can go over here and click this, and yes, as you may have guessed, Blue Cat has tons of effect pedal strips that they have pre-dialed in for us to try out. So if you're lazy like me, Blue Cat has got you covered because you could pick one of these and go to the races. We'll demo this in a minute, but for now we're just kind of taking a look at the plugin. Now, when we move on here, you'll see we have the master bus. Think of this like your mix bus. You know, you put on our EQs, compressors, whatever you like to do on the pulsed end there. You have a spreader here, so it gives us that nice stereo width. So without it, we have, and then with it, a little more richness, a little more fat. I really like having that spread option on. Next, up here on the top left, we have some few modules. I'll tell you the ones I use the most. I use the multi-core engine when I'm loading a lot of stuff in here because it lightens the load a little bit on the CPU. That's nice. Then you have this easy mode, and what that does is it takes us to kind of this more live type setup. You have a rack style tuner, you have your Destructor module available to you, and then you have all of the effects and things that we put in our strip. And they're basically an on-off option with the ability to adjust the mix level. So you can tweak them how you want here and then go here, and it's just an on and off thing. Now what this would be really cool for, because Blue Cat plays so well with MIDI and all of that, is this would be great for if you're gonna play live and you have a MIDI pedal board and you wanna program this, every bit of this could be programmed, assigned, and dealt with through MIDI. So that is pretty cool if you're gonna use it live, or you just like the look of the easy. I prefer this myself because I like being able to go in at any time and, you know, mess with stuff and do all that cool jazz. So anyway, as you can see, Blue Cat's Axiom may look a little different from some of the more modern amp sims that we see nowadays, but this is so much more than an amp sim, as we said in the beginning. And being able to dial in your dream tones here is intuitive, fun, and the options are limitless. One thing I gotta check real quick. Yep, it's still going. So when they say forever, they mean forever on that. So anyway, that's the first part of this, just a little general overview to get you started. Now let's talk about building your ultimate guitar workstation here. All right, everyone, welcome to the second part of the video here where I'm gonna show you how I use Axiom to create my ultimate guitar workstation. So one thing you'll notice that's really cool is you can load VSTs into any one of the available slots here. That's right, so you can use third-party plugins in tandem with Axiom to get the most, to have your cake and eat it too, right? So check this out. If you're somebody who owns a lot of amp sims like yours truly, then this is something that you have wanted for a long time, and that is the ability to load in the VST for your amp sim, save it as a preset, and then boom, you have an all-in-one library of every amp sim you've got. That is really special. Thank you, Blue Cat. So check it out. Let's load up the Aurora DSP Goblin here. And what I'm going to show you is, you know, the Goblin in all of its goblin-y glory first, but then let's take a listen to how it sounds just by itself. Yeah, sounds good, right? That's the old Goblin for you. It's a free plugin, by the way. So I've got that, but one of the problems, one of the bummer things with Goblin is that it doesn't come with a noise gate. So when I turn the noise gate off here, you'll see it's kind of noisy. So Blue Cat's already solving problems by giving us the ability to load in a noise gate, have it available. Next, one thing about Goblin, it doesn't come with any effects, right? I mean, it's heavy, it's loud, but if, let's say I want to do a little Fatso style effect on it. Well, I've loaded in here Blue Cat's pitch shifter, and now I've got that. Right, so now I can do more with Goblin than I've ever really been able to. Next, Blue Cat has a pitch shifter that we can use like a transposer. Yes, now you can transpose any one of your favorite amp sims without having to wait for an update or some special feature. That's right, so check it out. Turn this on and we go from this to this. So now you can transpose your amp sims, guys. There you go. Or if you have a favorite amp sim with a transposer in it, you could load it in here, turn everything off but the transposer and use it, but you have options, okay? Next, I have the IR loader from Blue Cat here. So you just click this little squiggly line down here and you can load in whatever IR you want. And let's say I don't like the one in Goblin, I can turn it off, turn this on, and now I'm in business. So there's that. One of the next things about Goblin that's a bummer is there's no post effects. So how am I supposed to do all the fun shred stuff, right? Well, thanks to Blue Cat's Axiom, I can load in whatever I want down here and start to be in business. So that's just my own little reverb and delay setup that I use for most of my solos. But if you go here and select from their effects strips, you could try all kinds of stuff. Let's try out this Pliny Dirt Echoes one and see what we think of that. So there you go. Now you can shred with the Goblin. That's just one example of building the ultimate guitar workstation with a plugin like Goblin that doesn't come with any of the stuff that we just did. I mean, all of that is from Blue Cat, right? One final thing to note here is that you can, over here, put your master effects in. So now I have an EQ that I like, and I have the compressor that I like. So now I basically have access to my mix bus at any time if I'm playing live or something. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. So if you want it, you can have it. You can have your cake and eat it too. Third-party plugins or built-in stuff, Blue Cat's Axiom allows you to do it all. Let's take a look at a couple other things here. So I talked about earlier blending tones together using the mix bar up here. Well, this will be really fun. So on this one, I've got on the left the Laney Ironheart, the mighty Laney Ironheart plugin. On the right side, I have the RVXX from Audio Assault loaded in. Really good plugins. So you'll notice up here on these, I've got them panned left and right. I've got the volume adjusted just to make sure that they're matched, and then I've got the tone right in the middle. So this is what it sounds like. It sounds really chunky, man, really good stuff. So you notice on the left here, it's all Laney Ironheart. On the right, it's all RVXX. So then, of course, you know, together they sound nice and fat. I'm also using an EQ compressor and another widener over here just so I can plug and play this into my DAW and get my tracks. Really easy stuff. Next, I've got one here that I use on my Sonic Parallels release from A Dream Deferred that came out in 2023. And this one is using kind of the same concept where we're panning two different tones. I've got the XSR from STL Tones. This is like a PVJSX, and then I've got over here the Archetype Gojira X loaded with what I like, and that one sounds like this. Never get tired of that low A, man. Sounds really nice. So again, I can plug and play this. It has everything that I want on the mix bus, and I could put this on a channel in my DAW, and there I go. I don't have to take up 4 channels for mixing or splitting or anything like that. It's all done right here in Axiom. So that is really cool stuff. A couple other examples for you. Let's check out this one. This is a little more of a clean style one, and this one you get really cool tones with. And what I should mention on this one, I'm also using the Blue Cat's Axiom on this one, and this does not come with the Axiom, but I bought it separately because it's really awesome. You get some cool tones. Check this out, man. Really cool stuff, man. Some whale noises, some really cool subs, and you'll notice in here we're using a little bit of the pitch shifter, a big reverb here from Late Replies. That's pretty cool. Good stuff on that. Next, we'll check out another one here that I get a lot of use out of. This one I'm using the McLaughlin guitar suite on in tandem with Destructor. So this is a good example of using a third party with the Destructor. I've got it on this kind of clean thing going on here and a little twang, and I've called it Townsend Ambient Twang because that's kind of what it reminds me of, but this is what it sounds like. Sounds pretty cool on its own, but now check this out. I've got a bit crusher here from Blue Cat, and you want to talk about doing some lo-fi stuff? Check this out. Pretty cool, right? I mean, it's so effortless to get that tone. I've also got in here from Waves a really cool reverb module I like that gives it a little extra something. Really like that reverb. It's very kind of hollow and very ethereal. But again, that's a Waves plugin, so Blue Cat third-party plugins, no problem. That's kind of the point we're making here. I could also turn on the Axiom and get some cool tones out of this one. You got to kind of work it a little bit, but you can see what's possible there, getting those cool whistle type tones and all that. Awesome stuff. So that's just another example of using third-party plugins in tandem with the stuff that Axiom has to offer. This one, I call it Hammy's Triple because I'm using their version of kind of a triple rec, emulation, and I really liked how this one came out. I've got 2 different tones here, one on the left, one on the right, with different IRs to give it a nice, diverse sound, and this is what it sounds like. So that one's pretty cool. We'll have a video on this tone eventually. I'll show you how I made it. Then finally, I'll show you my little shred preset using the same exact tone, but now I'm using from them the Pliny Dirt Echoes, and I've got it on both sides, and it just sounds massive. Sounds really cool. Blue Cat's Axiom from Blue Cat Audio really does take it to the next level as the ultimate guitar workstation, and you can do so many things within it using whatever tools you can imagine, right? And that is what makes it next level for me. I am somebody who, the more I learn about Axiom, I become more excited, more inspired, and I have tons of fun. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So go check out Blue Cat's Axiom on their website. I'll have a link to it in the description. And stay tuned for more fun videos where we dive a little further into certain parts of the plugin and have all kinds of fun. All right, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day.